Okay, so did you remember which para is remain?
No, we had completed the first passage. We were in the middle of the second passage.
Okay, I think here, right?
No, no, no. This is the first passage. We have finished this entire passage. We were in part two, somewhere in the middle of the part.
Okay,
The,
okay, got it.
Mm.
Okay, uh, I
D.
think,
You
however,
have next one. Yes, here. We
yeah,
completed D, and we need to start from E.
okay, yeah. So, however, a recent experiment has certainly changed this idea.
Read that word again.
Challenge. Okay. However, a recent experiment has certainly challenged this idea.
Hmm. Okay.
Employees. Mhm, mhm.
Certainly. Synonym of certainly.
Frequently.
Frequently. That is often.
Yeah, it's open. Certainly. mm,
Has
yeah,
certainly challenged this idea.
let's check. Certainly. I use or empathize with the speaker's belief that what it said is true. Unquenchable. Un-
Definitely.
okay, definitely.
Hmm.
So, just a second. Certainly. Definitely.
Definitely. Let us just remove L and Y from this word.
Okay. Certain.
Hmm.
Certain amount of able to be
Have you
found.
heard this word before? Certain.
Yes, I have. I had many time I heard this word.
So this is an adjective, and certainly is an adverb.
Okay, happen to be the
What's
case.
the role of an adjective?
It's ક્રિયામાં વધારો કરે.
Kriya
મદદ.
or something else?
Uh, it is
Okay.
something else, but
નહીં, ક્રિયા ક્રિયા એટલે verb.
હા, verb માં વધારો કરે it's a adverb.
Adverb, yes. So adjective should be
Adjective should be એ શેમાં વધારો કરે
what
કોઈ
does it
લાક્ષણિકતા
modify?
બતાવો.
See, there
Uh,
are two things: noun and verb. Now, if adverb describes the verb, then what should adjective describe?
uh, Adjective describe verb in deeply. નહીં.
Hmm?
નાઉન ના ના નાઉન ને વધારો કરે નાઉન માં
Exactly. Because if
વધારો કરે.
adverb modifies verb, then adjective has to modify a noun.
Beautiful car.
Hmm.
Beautiful is adjective and car is noun. Things, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Right ને?
એક જ મિનિટ એક જ મિનિટ.
Okay. Integrations for each. What service was provided by the company in the New Zealand experiment? Wow. What research method was used to gather data in the New Zealand experiment?
Okay. However, a recent experiment has certainly challenged this idea.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Definitely
what has
challenge
this
this idea.
experiment done? It has definitely
Uh, challenge એટલે હવે બહુ અઘરો એમ.
experiment અઘરો હતો એવું કીધું?
ના અઘરો તો એવું નથી કીધું ચેલેન્જ ધીસ આઈડિયા એમ એટલે હવે ઈ એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ હતો એ થોડોક ચેલેન્જિંગ હતો સ્વીકારવો થોડોક અઘરો હતો.
ના, એવું નથી. રિસન્ટ એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ તો એની હારે આપણે કઈ મતલબ જ નથી.
હા
The result of the result of that experiment challenged this idea. એટલે શું થયું?
ચેલેન્જ એટલે તો એવું ન થાય, સ્વીકારવું અઘરું હોય તો થોડુંક ચેલેન્જ હતું એમ,
હા,
થોડુંક અઘરું હતું એ સ્વીકારી લેવું.
અઘરું હતું. It was difficult.
Yes, it was difficult.
પણ અહીંયા બે વસ્તુ છે. On one hand, we have conducted an experiment, and on the other hand, there's an idea. And what are we
Yes,
doing to that idea? We are challenging the idea. So
yes,
basically, we are not accepting the idea on its face value.
yes.
We are providing some proof that undermines that idea.
Okay.
Search for the word undermine.
Erode the base or foundation of a rock formation. A flow or water had undermined pillar supporting the roof. Erode, wear away, eat away, chip away, undercut, support to unsupport. Okay. Supporting opposite છે undermine નું. તો એ unsupportable એટલે
Just break this word into two parts: under and mine. Mine એટલે have you heard this word before? Mining, Bitcoin mining.
હા હા ઈ માઇનિંગ ખબર છે.
ઈ
માઇનિંગ
માઇનિંગ
એટલે
ખબર છે. તો માઇનિંગ એટલે શું હોઈ શકે?
માઇન કરવું, કઈ બહાર આઉટપુટ લાવવું એમ, જમીનમાંથી બહાર કાઢીને.
To dig and bring something out.
એક્સકેવેશન, ખોદકામ કરીને બહાર કાઢવું.
Excavation, yes. But excavation is usually used in the context of history. You excavate the remains of some extinct creatures or some very old civilizations. But it's excavation is not usually used. They have totally different senses.
ઓકે.
Mining, you mine for coal. Coal hoy. So how do you get it out? You have to mine. Coal mines હોય. એટલે શું કહેવાય આપણે ઓલી ખીણ.
ખીણમાં નહીં પણ ખોદ હાલો.
અરે મને એનું ઓલું ગુજરાતી વર્ડ નથી યાદ આવતું.
ખીણ કહેવાય
ના, કોલસાનું શું હોય? ખાણ કહેવાય, ખીણ નહીં. સોરી.
ખાણ.
હા, એટલે કોલ માઇન એટલે કોલસાની ખાણ. સો mine, જે mine, that was a noun, but this mine is a verb. We're digging and getting that coal out of that mine. And what happens when you dig under something?
અંદર માઇન ની અંદર.
ના, અંદર નહીં, under English નું under.
ઓકે. અંડર એટલે કે એના હેઠળ હોય એવું.
અરે under is a preposition. Above, under.
હા તો એમ તો કહો એની નીચે under the table.
Under the table. So what happens when you start digging under something? Suppose there is a building, right? There's a building. What will happen if you start digging under the building?
બિલ્ડિંગ પડી જાય, બીજું શું થાય?
The building will topple.
Yeah.
Topple. ये सर्च कर ले. नहीं, બીજા ટેબમાં, so that you can come back to it later on. TOPP, yes. Topple.
Overbalance or cause to overbalance and fall. Okay. Overbalance and fall. પડી જાય એવું. Drop. Tip. Okay.
So if you start digging under a building, what will happen? The building will collapse. It will topple.
Yeah.
And why does that happen? Because you are removing the support from underneath the building. પાયો હોય, તમે પાયો જ કાઢી નાખો તો શું થાય? It has to fall. So
Yeah.
now look at the definition of undermine.
Erode the base or foundation of rock formation. Okay, the base ની વાત.
Rock formation, remove that that phrase from the meaning. Suppose
rock.
મને હરખું વંચાતું નથી. શું લીધું? Erode the base or foundation of something. It could be anything, not just rock formation.
Yeah.
Now it's visible.
Okay. Got it. The example
Suppose you did not know the meaning of this word undermine, but you knew the individual meanings of under and mine. You still could have predicted its meaning, because
Yes.
mine is to dig and bring something out from the earth, and
Yes.
under એટલે તો નીચે. So what happens if you start digging under something? You'll remove the base, you'll remove the foundation, and once the foundation is gone, anything that was standing on top of it will collapse.
Yeah, fall down.
Fall down. So suppose whenever you come across a word whose meaning you do not know, you just try to break it up into individual chunks that you actually understand, and then just try to connect the meanings of those two different parts.
Okay, got it.
અને હજી એક phrase હતો. I said you should not accept it at the face value. No, they are different. Face value.
The value printed or depicted on a coin, bank, postage stamp, ticket. It is especially when less than or actual value. When less than the actual value.
Face value. Okay. Just let's take an example. You have a 10 rupee note in your hand.
Yes. Okay.
So when you look at the note, what do you see? I mean, how do you determine that this note is worth 10 rupees?
Because the indication of the 10 rupees on the...
Yeah, it's printed on the front of the note.
No. Yeah.
You could also say that I use the word front, but instead of using the word front, you could say that it's the face of the note. Face એટલે શું basically? Your face is something at which you look at. તમારી સામે હોય, તમે જુઓ, that's face.
Okay.
E face ઉપર જે value છે, the value which is printed on that front portion of the note, or you could say the face, it's the face value.
Okay.
E face value છે. Now that face value can be spoofed. Now let us say that somebody somehow modifies that note, and the actual value of the note is only 10 rupees. But somehow let us say that somebody was able to successfully spoof that note and replace the number 10 with 500. Then
okay, it's
the real value of the note still is 10. It is
10,
not 100. If you put it into a stamp, it'll still say that this is a 10 rupee note. But somehow by some tricks, people have modified it to look as if it was a 500 rupee note. So now we have two different values. One is the face value, which is the value that you see. માથે જે છાપેલું છે તમને દેખાય છે એ 500 છે. So that is the face value, and the real value is different.
Okay.
So અહીં જો નીચેનું જે definition છે ને, the apparent worth or implication of something. It is not really a 500 rupee note. It just seems that it is. એટલે apparent worth, apparent value, face value એટલે.
ઓકે મતલબમાં દેખાય છે એવું નહીં.
હા, દેખાય છે પણ it could be different. એવું હું નથી કહેતો કે it has to be different, but in certain cases the face value and the real value might be different.
Got it.
So go back to the first sentence.
A recent experiment has certainly
Challenge
challenged
this
this.
idea. So we should not accept this idea at its face value. So what do I mean when I say that you should not accept something at its face value? You should not accept an idea at its face value.
સેમ મિનિંગ તો થયો આમાં.
એટલે શું પણ તો you have to tell me.
જે એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ નું જે રિઝલ્ટ છે એ જે દેખાય છે એટલું સહેલું નથી એક્સેપ્ટ કરવું.
નહીં તો why are you hell bent on this word easy? Why are you using it? Easy. Forget all about challenges.
Okay.
Just answer this question.
Okay.
આપણે face value ની વાત કરીએ છીએ. If I say that this idea cannot be accepted at its face value, what do I mean?
આમાં ફેસ વેલ્યુ કેમ લગાવો? ઓલામાં એમ કીધું જે ખરેખર એની
face value નું definition શું હતું? What is face value?
It's a front of value.
Front. Okay, that is one of the definitions.
Yeah. Second one is it could be a real. It could not be a real value.
Yes, it
couldn't be a real value.
Okay, there are two values. One is face value and another one is real value. So you could say that face value is the value which is not real. Okay, in a way it is correct. So this idea, we are not saying that this idea is fake. No, we are just saying that you should not believe this idea blindly. And why? Because we have already conducted an experiment which has challenged this idea. એટલે challenge this idea એટલે શું થયું કે ઈ idea easy છે difficult છે એવી વાત નથી. But this idea could be wrong. This is not the absolute truth. Challenge no meaning અહીંયા ઈ થાય. If you challenge an idea, when do you challenge somebody? તું એમ કે ને હું તને challenge મારીને કહું કે આ ખોટું છે, એવું આપણે કહી ને કોક વાર.
હા એટલે
ગેરંટીથી કહું કે આ નો જ આવે, આ આન્સર નો જ આવે. So that is, you are challenging the answer. So challenging the answer does not mean that that answer is easy or difficult. It only means that what you're saying is not the absolute truth. There is something more to it, or it may be entirely false. We don't know what it is. We'll read the entire passage and then determine if it is completely fake or it's just similar. Yes. So now do you understand the meaning of challenge?
Yes, got it. Now I'm fully understand.
Okay, go ahead.
Employees at the New Zealand company involved work for 8 hours day a week, but were paid for 5.
So what happened at the New Zealand company?
Involved work for 8 કલાકનું કામ કરાવે છે days a week ની અંદર.
But how for how many days did they work?
5 days. Sorry, 7 days.
7 days. Okay. How did you come to that conclusion?
Work for 8 hours day a week. નહીં, week ના 8 કલાક કહે છે.
Read it slowly. Take it slowly. Employees at the New Zealand company. એટલે New Zealand company ની વાત થઈ. That is one part. પછી involved worked for 8 hours days a week.
Okay, 4 એ ઓલું 4 છે.
FOR નથી. This is FOUR. So for how many days are these employees working?
4 days. Only
4 days a week. And for how many hours a day do they work?
8 hours.
8 hours. So in total, how many hours per week are they working?
32 hours.
Yes, instead of a 40-hour week, they are only working for 32 hours, and still, they are being paid for 5 days a week. For
Hmm.
if they would have worked for 5 days a week, they would have worked for 40 hours. But they're not working for 40 hours. They're working only for 32 hours. Even then, they're getting paid for working
I-
for 40 hours. Yes, 5 into 8
yeah.
is 40.
5 નું આપે છે
Ah,
5 દિવસનું પે કરે છે કંપની ન્યુઝીલેન્ડ. Okay, the experiment was conducted at a certified life firm which has sold insurance for more than 6 decades.
decades. What do you mean by decades?
That's cow.
Yeah, a period of
10 hours.
huh?
Desco એટલે 10 sorry 10 years.
Ah, 10 hours.
hours થઈ ગયું યાર hours નું.
So
મેં
this
કીધું
experiment was conducted at this place. So certified life. What is certified life?
હવે certified છે.
Is it a place?
Okay,
Is it a country? Is it a city? What is it?
it may be a certified life એટલે પેલા તો લાઈફ ની વાત છે certified life.
No, no, certified life. Look at the first letter of.
Place. It's a charity, maybe.
It's a place.
Hmm.
Charity. What do you mean by charity?
Trust.
Trust. And don't try to predict. Read the sentence and tell me what this certified life is.
પછી મેં એવું ડિસાઈડ કર્યું આ એટ આવ્યું એટલે એ પ્લેસ જ હોવી જોઈએ ને વોઝ કન્ડક્ટેડ એટ આ જગ્યાએ.
But it could very well be the name of a university. It doesn't have
Yes.
to be a place, right? At RK University.
Yes, it may be a પણ university
See, this preposition at is used in conjunction with insignificant places, with small places. At this, at a village, and in is generally used with
country,
metropolitan
cities
areas like in Mumbai, in Delhi.
in India, in
If you're talking about a small village or say a university, you use the preposition at. So at is not indicative of a place,
street માટે
any insignificant place, not just
Okay.
city, village.
and street માટે કોઈ village ની અંદર street છે
તો
તો on
village છે તો you only have two options, either at or in.
તો village
street શું છે? Is it a very significant place? કઈ બહુ બહુ એવી મોટી ખાસ જગ્યા છે?
ના બહુ નાની એવી છે.
so use that.
સ્ટ્રીટ માં એટ આવે ને. ઓકે તો મેં ઘણા એડ્રેસ માં એવું જોયું છે કે ઓન 24 નહીં 24 સ્ટ્રીટ નંબર ઓન મેં જોયું છે ઘણી જગ્યાએ મેં
on
એડ્રેસમાં ઓન થર્ડ સ્ટ્રીટ એવું લખેલું જોયું.
But again, it depends on the context.
Okay.
એટલે at જ use કરવું એવું જરૂરી નથી.
Okay, got it. So now we consider as a university or small
But
places,
that's what
right?
I'm saying. Don't consider it. Don't start assuming things. Read the entire sentence and tell me what this certified life is.
The
Answer has
experiment
to be there somewhere in the sentence.
Okay. The experiment was conducted at certified life of firm. Okay, અહીંયા આવ્યું.
બાજુમાં જ હતું બિચારું, ક્યારનું બેઠું હતું અહીંયા.
હું અહીંયા અટકી ગયો તો.
ઈ તકલીફ છે, હું તને ક્યારનું કહું આખું સેન્ટેન્સ વાંચી એટલા પાર્ટમાં
પાછળ લખેલું છે. અરે a firm which has sold insurance for more than 6 decades.
What has this firm done?
Insurance for more than 6 decades. 6 decades એટલે 60 વર્ષથી. ઇન્સ્યોરન્સ વેચે છે. 60 વર્ષ જૂનું છે એટલે મતલબ એક્સપિરિયન્સ વાળું છે. એટલે એસ્ટાબ્લિશ્ડ છે. સુપર એસ્ટાબ્લિશ્ડ.
Established firm.
ઓકે વેલ એસ્ટાબ્લિશ સુપર નહીં સોરી બોલાઈ ગયું સુપર વેલ એસ્ટાબ્લિશ્ડ ફોર્મ છે વિચ કંપની છે સર્ટિફાઈડ લાઈફ રાઈટ એને એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ કન્ડક્ટ કર્યો હતો
But why
એટ
are you switching to Gujarati? I don't understand.
ઓકે અરે પણ હું મારા મગજમાં એ રીતે ઓલું ટ્રાન્સલેટ કરતો હોય ને
No, you don't have to bring in Gujarati. કારણ કે તું ટ્રાન્સલેટ કરીશ ને અહીંયા જ ડખો થશે. Don't translate. Try to look for synonyms in the same language.
Okay.
You are unnecessarily taxing your brain. You're reading it in English and trying to translate it in Gujarati, and then you're explaining, and then I am asking you to explain it in English, and again you translate whatever you have thought in Gujarati into English, and then say why you making your brain work unnecessarily.
Who are you? Why are mandated?
So
who are you? memes આવતું why are you mandated? એવું કંઈક બોલે છે ને
એવું મેં તો નથી
કાંઈ હાલે ક્યાંક memes આવશે એટલે હું જોતો નથી હમણાં ઘણા ટાઈમથી જોઈશ એટલે કે મળશે એટલે okay I'll send when I
whenever I come across that meme I'll send it to you.
Okay. Whenever I found it એવું ન કહેવાય
I found it. You found it. Found is past tense.
find
You
sorry
will
find
find it.
when I'll find it I'll send right Okay. At the end of the experiment 78% of employees felt they were able to manage their work-life balance, up from 54% when working a standard 40 hours a week.
So now we have two figures. One is 78% and the other is 54%.
મારા આ તો લોચો થાય કાઈ નહીં okay at the end of the experiment
so we are talking about the conclusion of the experiment.
Yes.
What do you do at the end of some experiment? You derive a result.
Yes.
So
it's a result of
the conclusion.
Result of
And what have we been able to conclude after performing this experiment?
Conclude after performing this experiment.
What is the conclusion? What's the end result of this experiment?
End result. એ તો છે તો ખરા આગળ 78% of employees felt they were able to manage their work-life balance.
So up from
54%.
Okay. Why did the author use this phrase up from 54%? There are two figures. One is 54, another is 78. And we're saying that something went up from 54% to what? From hoy. So always. If you have from, then you also need to have to.
Yes.
But to is nowhere to be found in this portion of the sentence. Then you need to understand that to is implicit. It has not been explicitly used here, but it is still implicitly present. So you need to find a connection between those two. Up from 54 and 78. So up from 54 to
78 is it?
You only have two figures. So if it is up from 54%, where will it stop? Where will it end?
78.
At 78. So it you up from by એને નથી લખ્યું કે 278 પણ એનો મતલબ ઈ થયો ને it means that up from 54% and it is reaching to 78%. 54 થી 78. What is happening? Employees felt that they were able to manage their work-life balance. So this is pretty much self-explanatory. Employees are able to manage their work-life balance. They're able to strike a balance between their professional life and their personal life.
Mm,
That is clear. Is that clear?
yes.
Earlier, there were only 54% employees who were able to manage their work-life balance. But after this experiment was conducted, they found that almost 78% of employees were able to manage the work-life balance.
Okay.
And
પણ
why
અહીંયા
do
felt or okay.
hmm,
Felt નો meaning તો negative નો થાય.
felt એટલે શું પેલા તો?
Felt એટલે હું તો fail નું past form સમજુ છું.
fall FALL fall
તો એ પડવું.
પડવું. તો એનું પાસ્ટ શું થાય? ઓકે, ફોરગેટ અબાઉટ ફેલ્ટ. ફોલ નું પાસ્ટ
Failed.
શું?
Fall નું તો failed નો થાય. He failed.
લખ
kind of
FELL થાય. FALL fall, FELL fell.
બહુ લાંબુ કન્ફ્યુઝન થઈ ગયું.
Past of fall is fell. It's not felt.
ઓકે, ઈ fail થાય.
Felt is the past of FEEL. Feel, feeling, emotions.
ઓકે, તો હવે ફિલિંગ વાળું હશે ને?
FE હા E નહીં, feeling નહીં, feel. Feeling no past tense. It's a verb, so you cannot have a past tense.
આવો છે
હા
તો બી આવો જ fall. પેલા ફીલ
અરે
માં કેમ
feel FEE.
કેમ એવું એમ મારે લખ્યું તું ફીલ જ પાસ્ટ ફોર્મ ક્યાં ગયો આનું? Be aware person.
FELT લખ. Will be past of feel.
Cover with failed. Make into failed. આ કંઈક નવું જ આવ્યું. ડબલ એલ હશે?
અરે ના, ઈ જ છે. Felt is the past of feel.
હા ઈ છે, આ બરાબર તારી વાત, પણ આમાં કંઈક નવું. ઓકે, વર્બ અહીંયા આવ્યું. Met together. આમાં એક્ઝામ્પલ તો જો કંઈક અલગ જ આપ્યા. ઓહો.
It's not what we are talking about. Okay, look for more definitions and word origin.
Failed is the past tense and past participle of feel. મળી ગયું. Done. To have had a feeling. An example of failed is someone feeling another person touch their arm. હવે આવતી હશે feeling. ઓકે, આપણે ગોતતા હતા શું? ઓકે, આ failed ની વાત હતી. ઓકે, employees failed they. ઓકે,
તો failed એટલે તો તું તો પડવાનું વિચારતો હતો, તો that completely messes up the entire meaning of the sentence.
એટલે તો હું 70 અપ હું સમજી નતો કે 54 તું એમ કેમ કહેતો કે 78 સુધી. આ તો નેગેટિવ ની વાત કરી છે.
એ તો વાત છે. Employees failed is just the past tense of this word feel. Emotions, feelings ની વાત છે કે 78% of employees have felt that they were able to manage their
work-life balance up from 54% when working a standard 40-hour week.
So when people were working for 40 hours a week, only 54% of the employees were able to strike a balance between their professional life and their personal life. Whereas after working for 32 hours a week, almost 78% of employees started to achieve a work-life balance.
Yes.
એટલે up from this to this, felt the forward
અને આઈ થિંક આખી સેન્ટેન્સ નો મીનિંગ જ ચેન્જ થઈ ગયો, એટલે પછી આ અપ ફ્રોમ વાળું મૂકીને નતો બેસતું. આવું કેમ કીધું એને?
હા.
Okay, now I got it. I get it. Sorry. When working.
Got it બરોબર જ હતું.
ના ગોટ ઇટ એટલે ગેટ ઇટ નહીં,
I get
ગોટ નું ગેટ નથી થાય કારણ કે ઈ મેં પહેલા સમજી લીધું. જ્યોતિ
ગોટ શું છે? ગોટ પાસ્ટ છે કે પ્રેઝન્ટ છે?
ગોટ પાસ્ટ છે
હા
અને ગેટ પ્રેઝન્ટ.
હા
તો અત્યારે સમજો ને એટલે મેં આઈ ગેટ ઇટ નાઉ.
ઓકે હા
હેલો.
હા હા the 240 employees.
ઓકે ઠીક, આગળ વધો ને મેં કીધું કંઈક નવું એક્ઝામ્પલ આપજો. ઓકે ગોટ ઇટ. The 24 sorry 240 employees at certified life completed survey at the beginning and the end of the experiment to provide information for the study. The 240 employees at certified life completed survey at the beginning and end of the experiment to provide information for the study.
So we are conducting an experiment.
Yes.
How
Yes.
many participants do we have?
240 employees.
Yeah, so 240 employees are participating in this experiment. And if you're conducting an experiment, you need some information. Otherwise,
Yes.
how will you correlate the situation which was present before conducting the experiment with the situation that you'll encounter after the experiment is over? You need some
Okay.
information for the
So
situation which
experiment.
was before the experiment, and you also need some information which uh, which you need to collect for the events that occur after the experiment was conducted, and then you need to synthesize those information and then compare those two. Only then you'll be able to reach to some conclusion.
Okay.
So
So
240
they
employees were participating in this experiment, and they were required to fill out
provided.
surveys before the experiment was conducted as well as after the experiment was conducted, so that
Okay.
they could provide accurate information for both the parts. And then
Yes.
these people who are conducting the experiment will compare those two set of information and then conclude something.
Yes. એમાં એવું at the beginning and end of the experiment લખ્યું હતું ને એટલે મને થોડુંક ઓલું થયું અચકાણ. Survey at the beginning and end of the experiment to provide information for the study. એટલે
એમાં
થોડુંક
શું
મને એવું થયું,
પ્રોબ્લેમ થયો?
એટલે મને એવું થયું કે આણે પહેલેથી છેલ્લે સુધી ઇન્ફોર્મેશન આપી, હું એવું સમજતો.
પહેલેથી છેલ્લે તો શું હોય? પહેલેથી છેલ્લે, ઓકે, ટ્રાન્સલેટ ધીસ ફ્રોમ ધ બિગિનિંગ ટુ ધ એન્ડ. પહેલેથી છેલ્લે એટલે ફ્રોમ ને ટુ આવવું જોઈએ ને?
હા, ફ્રોમ ને ટુ આવવું જોઈએ. એટ ધ
અહીં શું
બિગિનિંગ
છે?
એન્ડ.
એટ ધ બિગિનિંગ એન્ડ એન્ડ,
એટલે
શરૂઆતમાં અને છેલ્લે.
શરૂઆત થાય ને અંતમાં.
હા, તો પહેલેથી છેલ્લે લગી તો ડઝન્ટ મેક એની સેન્સ. તો ફ્રોમ ને ટુ જ આવે ને.
Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, provide information for the study. The employees themselves work out how all the necessary tasks could be completed within a deadline while working fewer hours, and were then responsible for implementing those decisions. The employees themselves work out how all the necessary tasks
Okay,
could be
wait.
completed within the deadline.
વર્કઆઉટ એટલે are
Work
we
out,
talking
like,
about gym, working out in the gym?
no, I think it's not context in gym.
Definitely not. We're not talking about physical activity here, so it could not be
Yes.
working out in a gym. So what do you mean by workout?
Workout, it means કંપનીનું જે વર્ક છે.
Okay, let us assume that we are talking about that work. So પછી out,
task.
why? Okay, task. But then why do we use the word out after work? And work, if you're talking about work or task, then it has to be a noun. But worked, ed પાછળ છે. This word is ending with ed. એટલે it
એટલે
has to
પૂરું
be a
થઈ ગયું.
verb. It cannot be a noun.
Yes.
So if it
Okay.
is a verb, you cannot say that it is a task. The
Read
task is
out.
a noun.
Read out.
The
And
task
what?
કહેવાય TASKED KED.
ના નો કહેવાય.
So it's definitely not what you are thinking.
તો એ શું છે?
So એ શું છે? And worked out. Did I ask you individual meanings of work and out? I asked you the meaning of work out. So it has to be a phrase.
Yes.
Why are you separating it?
Okay, got it. It's a phrase, right? Workout.
Okay, forget about workout. What are these employees doing? The employees themselves, એટલે એ પોતે જ employees, what did they do? They did something, workout. You don't know the meaning of workout. Let's leave it aside. What are they doing? How all the necessary tasks could be completed within deadline. So uh, does this look like a problem statement?
Yes.
How all the necessary tasks could be completed within deadline. So you have some work to be completed and you need to finish within a given
Deadline.
period of time. You need to complete
Yeah.
it before the deadlines.
Yeah.
So this is the problem at hand. So if you have a problem, what do you do? What do you do with a problem? Do you let it be there just like that, or do you do something to?
So something to resolve.
Yes. So you'll do something to solve that problem.
Yes.
So now again read the sentence. The employee themselves worked out how all the necessary tasks could be completed within deadline. So now what do you think workout could mean? You have employees, the employees have a problem. What will the employees do?
Employee do. મને વર્કઆઉટ નહીં મગજમાં બેસે.
ના તને હું તારી જ આગળથી કઢાવીશ. Okay.
Oh.
The employees are there, right? Forget about employees. Let us say that okay, I'm talking about you. You need to take the IELTS test on 12th of August. That is, 12th of August is only a couple of days away from today. You only have a handful of days remaining. You don't have much time. So is that a problem, or what do you think it is? If you are not well prepared, it is a problem. Otherwise, it is not. Right? It depends on your level of preparation. If you are well prepared, then it's not a problem. But if you're not well prepared, then yes, definitely it is a problem.
Yes, it is a problem.
So it is a problem for you. You need to take the test on 12th of August and you don't have much time to prepare. So it's a problem for you. So now you'll work out a schedule. If I say that you are working out a schedule, what are you trying to do?
So practice. બીજું શું કરવું હવે?
Practice બરોબર છે, પણ why will you practice?
Because of the problems. Because of the resolve this problem.
Yes. What do you want to do? You want to resolve this problem. That is why you are working out a schedule that will help you prepare for the test. So what
Yes.
is this workout?
It's a workout. So resolve.
So
Problem resolve.
resolve.
Okay.
Resolve you.
Yes.
There's a problem and you're trying to solve that problem. So workout એટલે you're figuring out a solution to that problem.
Figure out.
So હવે પાછું the employees themselves.
એક મિનિટ લખી નાખો. Okay. Thank you. The 240 answer certificate is original. The employees themselves work out how all the necessary tasks could be completed within a deadline.
So what did they do? They work out એટલે
વર્કઆઉટ એટલે રિઝોલ્વ એટલે ટુ ફિગર આઉટ
so
હાઉ
they figure out a solution. This is the problem. How all the necessary tasks could be completed within deadline. So there is a problem. You have employees. There is a problem, and the employees are trying to solve that problem. They're trying to figure out a solution to that problem. That's it.
યસ
Workout.
એટલું એલા મને પેલા કહી દીધું તો હું કેટલું
એટલું પેલા
વિચાર
કીધું હોત ને તો આ તને કોઈ દી યાદ ન રહેત તો એ ભૂલાય જ જાય બીજે દિવસે પણ આટલી 10 મિનિટ લગી મગજમારી કરી હોય ને એ અંદર એવું ઘૂસી જાય ને કે પછી ન જાય.
બરાબર છે પણ એમાં શું હું લખી નાખું છું ને એટલે બધા એક બે વાર રીડ
તો
કરું
તું
છું
લખી નાખીશ અઠવાડિયા પછી જો તારું લખેલાનું શું થાય છે. If
હા
you
એ
do
ભૂલાઈ
not use it frequently, you will definitely forget it, even if you've written it. And this is just one word. We'll come across thousands of such words. So, will you remember all such phrases and words?
જાય ના ના બરાબર છે
It is impossible to remember if you just. It's like you're creating your own dictionary. You could just start reading a dictionary. You'll not make any sense to you.
બરાબર got it you are right you are 100% right I'll forgot it after a week
You will
and
forget it.
okay I'll
Forgot
I'll
past થઈ ગયું ને.
I'll forget it after a week right okay
પછી while working within deadlines, while working fewer hours એટલે while working fewer hours, what does that mean?
એટલે થોડીક વધારે આવે
Huh?
ફ્યુઅર એટલે ઓછું થાય કા
Ah,
થોડીક ફ્યુઅર મિનિટ કે ને few minutes
હા
એ fewer એટલે ઓછું એટલે while working fewer hours and were then responsible for implementing those
don't go ahead, while working fewer hours. So they need to complete the tasks within deadlines while working fewer hours.
જ્યારે ઘણો થોડો ઓછો ટાઈમ કામ કરે ત્યારે
So earlier they had 40 hours to finish their task or a
yes
set of tasks. Now they only have 32 hours because one day is off. You just have a 4-day week. So
yes
you need to figure out a solution so that they can complete everything within those 32 hours. So even when they are working for, let's say, 32 hours, which is less than 40 hours, even then they should be able to finish their tasks. So they have figured out some solution. Well, let's look at that.
okay and were then responsible for implementing
ઈ વેર નથી વર કન્યા વાળો વર
હા હા એ પણ મને હું એના વેર થી ને જમ
વેર એટલે WHERE થઈ જાય
યાર હાય હાય બરાબર
અને આ વર
આવડું
કન્યા વાળો વર છે.
એ ઓલું ડાટા જેવું છે ઓલા સાઉથ ઇન્ડિયન ડાટા બોલે ને ડેટા okay and were then responsible for implementing those decisions બસ પૂરું થઈ ગયું
So you'll have to read the entire sentence again. Only then you'll understand what's going on.
the employees themselves work out how all the necessary tasks will be completed within a deadline while working fewer hours and were then responsible for implementing those decisions.
So you have employees, you have a problem, the employees have figured out a solution to the problem, but is it
Yes.
enough?
Is it?
Is it enough?
Implementing those decisions were then responsible for.
Solution is just theoretical,
Yes.
but if you don't implement that solution, it's not going to solve the problem. Okay, you know that there is a problem,
Got
you
it.
know how to
Got
solve, but until and unless you don't go ahead and solve it, it is not going to really solve the problem.
Yes. Got it.
So what are they doing? They were then responsible for implementing those decisions. So they made some decisions, but they had to
હા
implement those
શું
decisions.
પડે
Huh.
યસ હા એ થિયરિકલી અમને કહી દીધું પણ એને
But you
ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટ
need
કરવું
to,
પડે.
yes, you need to take some action. Otherwise, it's not going to make any difference.
Yes. Okay, got it. So lead researcher Dr.
ડીઆર
આના ડોક્ટર હાલ ને
પણ
એટલે
હાલ નહીં ને હાલે પછી ડીઆર નીકળવું જ ન જોઈએ.
એટલે લોકો વાંચે છે એટલે મેં એવું
ના
વાંચ્યું.
લોકો ન વાંચે તો એ ખોટી ના.
તો ભલે હશે તો એને આ તમે ટાઈમ
તું
કહું
તું
છું.
વિચાર તો કર તું વચ્ચે આમ ડીઆર વાંચ કેવું ખરાબ લાગે.
હા ઈ બરાબર છે પણ આ સેલિબ્રિટી ને મેં એવા જોયેલા છે એટલે મેં ટ્રાય કરી મેં કીધું શું થાય એમ. ઓકે જવા દે ને તો આમ વાંચું બસ. Lead researcher Dr. Anna Graham says that the experiment produced such a positive results partly because employees were given a role in decision making throughout it. Okay. લીડ રિસર્ચર છે આનો લીડ એટલે
રીડ
લીડ
એટલે
લીડ
હુ ઇઝ અ લીડર?
લીડ કરતો હોય એ લીડર.
હા, લીડ કરતો હોય લીડર. સો what do you mean by that? A primary researcher. The main head, the main person who is responsible for this experiment, that person, lead researcher. And what's the name of that person? It's Dr. Hannah Graham.
Yeah.
That person says that the experiment produced
such a positive result.
નથી such a positive નથી. It's such positive results.
Okay. The experiment produced such positive result partly because employees were given a role in decision making throughout it.
Okay. Why partly?
હવે લોકો ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટ કરે નો કરે.
No. Partly is associated with what is following that word. Partly because don't forget all about this sentence.
100%
This
out
phrase
of
could be
100.
used anywhere. Partly because
Partly it means 100% out of 20.
100% out of 20. What
Hey,
kind of mathematics is this?
Sorry. 20 out of 100%.
20 out of 100. Okay. So partly is don't quantify it. It could be 20, it could be 23. I don't care. Partly is it's not completely, just partially.
Yes, it's a partially.
So it's a partially. ક્યાંથી કરી જાય ને?
It's a partially. It's partial.
Huh. Positive results partly because. So it's not the whole and sole reason. Because we are talking about some reason.
Yeah.
So partly because it's not the only reason. There are other reasons as well. But this is one of the reasons. This is not the whole story. This is just a part of the story.
Okay. Part of the story. એટલે partially મતલબ શું થોડાક અંશે.
Partially.
Okay. Produce such positive results partly. એટલે કઈક
they produce such positive results. So what kind of positive results are we talking about? Which are these positive results?
40 days we call.
40 days?
Sorry. No,
is there anything positive about it?
No, 40 days no, sorry. 40 hours week no. 3 days હતું તો 4 days વાળું. 4 days હતું ને?
4 days a week. Yeah. 32
hours work.
So what's so positive about it? You're working for 32 hours a week, you work for 40 hours, or what?
Employees work-life balance, work-life balance. એટલે employees work-life balance કરી શકે છે એમ.
Yes, so employees were able to balance their work and life. Okay, that is one of the positive aspects of working for 32 hours a week. What else? બીજું કઈ આવ્યું જ નથી.
આવ્યું તો ને.
So
આ તો એક્સપેરિમેન્ટમાં તો કદાચ ઉપરના એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ આ જ થયું એક 40 કલાક વાળો હતું એ બી મેનેજ કરી
એક એ વસ્તુ હતી, they were able to balance their work and life, એટલે personal life and professional, they were able to balance it. But that is the conclusion of the experiment. Now let us talk about the experiment. positive decisions, positive results.
એટલે ફેવરમાં છે રિઝલ્ટ એમ.
But if you don't explain that term to me, I know that. But what positive results? This is one of the positive result. Okay. Jo result
વર્ક લાઈફ
is plural. So ek te કહી
યા
દીધું. Okay, that is
રિઝલ્ટ
fine. I don't object that answer. But
યસ
there's one
વન
more
મોર
positive result. What do you mean by result? It's an outcome of something.
યસ સમ એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ સમથિંગ
હા તો બીજું શું એવું આઉટકમ આવ્યું હતું?
the employee themselves work out એમ્પ્લોય પોતે પોતાના પ્રોબ્લેમ ને ફિગર આઉટ કરી શકે.
So isn't it positive? You have a problem,
Yes.
you solve it yourself. Is it positive or
Yes.
negative?
Yes, it is positive.
So that is what we are talking about.
Okay.
Says that the experiment produced such positive results. So there are two positive results. Ek to taru work life balance varu, and the second positive result is the employees were able to figure out their own solution.
Own problems.
નહીં own problems તો પોતાના જ હોય, ગામના problem. But they were able to figure out the solutions on their own. પોતે જાતે solution ગોઈતું એણે. And why was it possible? It was possible partly because, not fully because. Suppose I fully hoy, તો શું થાય કે whatever follows, this employees were given a role in decision making throughout it.
મોટા ભાગે most of.
નહીં fully એટલે totally, એટલે આ જ એકમાત્ર reason છે. But partly because okay, this is one of the reasons. This is not the only reason.
Okay.
And what reason is this doctor saying? Is this what reason is this lead researcher giving?
Produce such positive impact.
Employees were given a role in
decision making throughout it.
Throughout what?
Throughout context માં છે.
Throughout it. So what does this pronoun refer to? It કોની વાત થાય? Throughout what? Throughout a process.
Throughout experiment.
Throughout the experiment. Okay, now it's clear that we are talking about this experiment. So હવે focus on this. Employees were given a role in decision making. Decision making.
પોતાનો decision લઈ શકે એમ.
Yes, they were offered the freedom to decide for themselves. So they were given a role in decision making. So એમાં role એટલે શું એક ભાગ ભજવવા જેવી વાત થઈ. So they were given the opportunity to decide for themselves.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons for such positive results.
Yeah.
So now if you read the entire sentence in a single go, lead researcher Dr. Hannah Graham says that the experiment produced such positive results partly because employees were given a role in decision making throughout it. What does it tell you? Which positive result are we talking about now?
Employees themselves work out how.
Now do you think this first positive result that you're talking about makes any sense here in this context?
No.
Yes, because see, the reason that they're stating is employees were given a role in decision making. Now, if after the experiment, if 78% of employees were able to manage their work-life balance, so what? It does not make any sense here, because here we are talking about decision making, and decision making is somehow related to figuring out a solution to the problem that they had. So it's this second positive result we are referring to, not the first one.
Yes, got it.
The first one was okay, that is not negative, but it does not make any sense in this context. અહીં જેની વાત થાય છે એને હારે કઈ લાગતું નથી.
હું આતે સમજતો હોય તો ન સમજી શકે તેમાં. આ તો હું ગપ્પા લાગી જાત.
ઈ પ્રોબ્લેમ છે, ગપ્પા નથી મારવાના આમાં.
લાગી જ જાત, લોચો થઈ જ જાત. ક્વેશ્ચન માં એવું આપ્યું હોત, what conclude after the experiment. ચલો તો થઈ જશે.
I'm ending the meeting. I'll visit the washroom and be back.
Okay.